Good afternoon. This is Clark Neighbors with BIS Commodities in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, with the market recap for the week ending December 23rd, 2016. For the week, corn down 11 cents, wheat down 16 cents. The big mover this week was beans being down 47 cents on the week. For the month of December, not quite as big a moves. Corn's down 3 cents is all for the month of December, wheat down 9. Beans down 42, so big moves on the beans to the downside this week. Continue to see pressure once the market took out technical support in that 1020 area on the January, and January options expired today with the market hovering in that 990 area, so we had a pretty significant break. Much of that was due to very good rains in Argentina throughout the week, pretty good weather forecast going forward as a general rule in South America, and also some pressure slowdown in the Asian markets, not only on many commodities but also in the oilseed trade. Hours next week, no markets on Monday the 26th. We have a full marketing day on December the 20th, which that is the Friday, and the following Monday the 2nd there will be no markets. Movement has slowed down quite a bit here over the last couple of weeks in the grains. Some of that's due to weather, some due to the calendar, the holidays, and also maybe the market having some pressure. That has caused basis to improve in many locations. If we get past the first of the year, it'll be interesting to see what kind of producer movement may take place after the first of the year. If the markets continue to be flat, producer movement is somewhat disappointing. We could continue to see this basis improve. Keep in mind there's a crop report on January the 12th. That is not only a final production number but a supply and demand update, and also quarterly stocks, which will give us a good indication what demand was for the first quarter, especially on feed. Keep in mind the USDA has a pretty large feed number in place on the corn S&D, and tying that in with today's hog and pig and cattle on feed report, which was rather interesting, was probably the highlight of the week. This came out this morning at 11 o'clock. All hogs came in at 103.7. Trade was looking at 101.7. So almost 4% more hogs than a year ago. Kept for breeding 101.5. Trade was looking for a little over 100, and marketing's 104 versus 102. So the hog and pig number was negative for the hog market. We'll see if that has any impact on grains with the bigger numbers. Cattle on feed, 99%. Trade was looking for 98.5. Placements into feedlots was 115%. Trade was looking for a little bigger than 112, so that number was a little larger. Marketing's 117 versus 116. Now, this is the smallest cattle on feed number for the month of December going back to 1996. Now, both the hog and the cattle numbers were deemed a little bit bearish as far as their respective markets. We'll see if we see some follow through on that next week. The cattle market had very good cash trade this week, $2 to $4 higher from the previous week. As far as factors going forward, once we get into January, obviously South American weather is going to be very key. Right now weather is very good as a general rule, but that'll be watched as we go in more in the generalized middle part of their growing season. As I mentioned earlier, the January 12th crop report, and also the macros. As we know, since the election and prior to the inauguration, we have seen a big upswing in the stock market. We've seen a big upswing in the U.S. dollar index, and it'll be interesting to see how the macros play out between that. Interest rates may be moving higher going forward and that type of thing, and the impact that may have on our commodities. With that, we wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you have any questions, feel free to call us here in Cedar Rapids. The phone number is 800-373-2525, or contact us via the web, biscommodities.com. With that, have a Merry Christmas and a great evening.